This is the Jim Villanucci Show on New Mexico's Talk Monster, 770 KKOB.
All right, Doug Turner is running for governor, and he is our guest. If you'd like to talk to Mr. Turner, phone lines are open here at 243-3333. Those of us in the media know you fairly well. For the average listener out there, who are you? What's your background?
I am...
Why you running?
Big question.
Why are you so great? No, it's an inside joke from...
Let me begin. No, I'm a New Mexico native, born and raised here in Albuquerque. I have a small public affairs and strategic communications firm here in New Mexico. We do a lot of work on...
It's not that small.
Small enough.
Yeah.
It's about 25 people.
Yeah.
But our business mostly focuses on public policy issues, a lot of issues that affect employers and industry in New Mexico, and we're very lucky, have grown here in the last 10 or 12 years. But prior to that, I served as Gary Johnson's campaign manager when he ran for re-election, and also as Steve Forbes' deputy political director when he ran for president in 2000.
Okay, so you're 40?
40.
All right.
41 in January.
And for nearly 20 years, you've had your own business, pretty much.
Actually, I could go back farther, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah, lemonade stand.
Lemonade.
How far back do you want to go with this?
Well, the lemonade stand when I was 7 in Old Town.
Uh-huh. Okay. There you go. And did it turn a profit? Was it well run?
The lemonade stand actually, I think, was in business for about 15 years. My youngest brother, who's 7 years younger than I am, was running it when he was 16.
So, if my math is right, you're working on Gary Johnson's campaign when you're 25-ish?
25, yeah.
24, 25?
Yep.
And what was your title in the first campaign?
I was his state director. So
how do you get that job when you're 24?
You trip over the luck log.
Yeah.
I met Gary campaigning out around the state, and, he gave me a chance.
That was it?
That was pretty much
You had
it.
some ideas? Did you have a 5-point plan?
Well, he was the candidate at that point.
Did you have a memo? Did you?
No, I just showed up.
Just said, I'm a young guy, I want to work for you.
I'm a young guy, I'm willing to work hard, and he gave me a chance, and Gary was good like that. He gave a lot of young Republicans an opportunity to get involved.
And then 4 years later, you're the top guy on the campaign.
Yes. Although Gary was actually the top guy.
He ran the campaign.
Right.
You're not going to talk him into anything.
No.
Did you guys ever disagree about anything? Did you ever?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
And he won all those arguments.
Well, he was a governor.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? There's a quote on your website that sounds kind of sort of like an endorsement from Gary. Is he endorsing you? Is he supporting you? What is the relationship?
Gary has been very, very supportive.
Right straight on there.
Gary has been very... Get this mic right.
There you go.
Gary's been very supportive of what I'm doing and enthusiastic, but he is not, as far as I know, endorsing anybody. He did give me the quote.
Doug is the person to improve education, create high-paying jobs, and fix the culture of corruption in this state. Sounds like an endorsement almost.
Well,
like he would like to endorse you, but he hasn't endorsed anybody.
I can't speak for him, but he has not endorsed anybody.
And Walter Bradley is also a supporter.
He has not endorsed anybody either. So I would not be surprised if some other candidates maybe come up with some favorable quotes. That's the sort of scramble right now. All the candidates are looking for folks to say something good about them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be any different than that.
So Heather Wilson is not running. Did you know that she was not going to run?
I did. Heather called me a couple hours before she sent her announcement and told me that she wasn't going to run.
So it's you and Janice Arnold-Jones and Susanna Martinez and Alan Way.
Correct.
These are the four.
Those are the four today.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
And what separates you from these other three individuals?
Well, I'm certainly a lot younger than everybody. That's certainly not a necessary.
Same age that Gary ran as.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Although his birthday is a couple days before mine.
Yeah. Do you want to be the new Gary Johnson? Is this?
I would never suggest that I would be Gary Johnson. Gary is Gary.
Yeah.
I think I have a very different management style and very different approach to things. But to the extent that I am
a business owner, you're young, I have put in some of your own money in this.
I'm not, and the other issue is I don't really want a long-term career in in public office. You know, I think that public service is something that folks do, and then they get out and they go get back on with their lives and let someone else who's got, you know, more relevant experience get back in and do.
All right, Doug Turner is running for governor, and he is our guest. If you'd like to take him out for a ride, give us a call here at 243-3333. Big story last week was the Luke Sanchez story. I'm sure you were probably following it. It sounds like on your website that you are leaning towards supporting a castle doctrine.
Correct. I'm actually aside from the castle doctrine, I'm a life member of the NRA, and I've done a lot of work over the years with the Institute for Legislative Action, which is an NRA political organization. And you know, I think that the castle doctrine is important to have. I mean, I think folks have the right to protect themselves, their families, and their property. And you know, I think I support the decision from last week.
So you're strong on Second Amendment issues?
Correct.
Speak about that. I mean, you're for concealed carry. You're for what? Castle doctrine?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, there are, I think, a lot of moves, federal moves, and folks around the state who are avid hunters and you know, gunnies, as we might call them, don't want anyone to encroach on their right to bear arms, and I fully support that. You know, to the extent that castle doctrine falls into that, to the extent that that concealed carry falls into that, you know, I'm a supporter. You wouldn't find me as a governor trying to roll back any of those rules, but rather to enforce people's right to bear arms.
Now, during the campaign, you're not going to put on an orange vest and pretend to go out and hunt. I've never understood why people think that, like when John Kerry was pretending that. I mean, does anybody really, in the middle of a presidential campaign, take 2 hours off out of their busy day in October to go hunt? I mean, is this even realistic?
I don't think it is.
Is this a good PR strategy?
Well, I think most people are probably smart enough to see through that. I'm not actually a hunter. I've only been hunting a few times, but I have been shooting since I was 11 years old with Eddie the Eagle program through the NRA. But you wouldn't catch me with an orange vest.
Pretending to hunt in the middle of the campaign. Good for you. All right, Doug Turner is our guest. He is running for governor. 2 lines open if you want to jump in here, 243-3333, and we'll be back in 90 seconds. $19 minutes after the hour. Doug Turner's our guest. He's running for governor. If you got questions. Now, there's been a lot of talk about cutting back on the prison budget, releasing criminals. Talk a little bit about prisons and police.
Prisons and police? Or regarding the budget?
Well, it's all tied together.
From state, what I've understood from state police officers and folks involved in public safety, the budget for public safety, Department of Public Safety, has actually been declining, and that if the information I've got is correct, we actually lose 1 state police officer a week. Wages in Albuquerque for an APD officer are higher than they are for a state police officer, and arguably that's far more difficult